Hi YouTube, how's it going? This is Gamester81. In today's video we're going to take a closer look at the 3DO interactive multiplayer system. Came out in the early 1990s. A lot of people consider the system one of the worst systems of all time. It did fail miserably, I grant that, give them that, but I actually play the system quite a bit even today, and there's some really good games on this available for the 3DO. We're going to take a closer look at one of the games I like to play a lot, but there's a handful I'll show you in future videos as well. Granted, there's a lot of bad games for the system, and we're going to focus on in today's video why it failed, and a little bit of history about the system and how it became into the market. So, YouTube. So here's the first model that came out. This is the FZ-1. So if you guys are looking for to pick one of these up, if you guys want this particular model, it's called the FZ-1. It's by Panasonic. It's called the Real 3DO Interactive Multiplayer. Sounds pretty impressive. Came out in 1993. In fact, a lot of hype over the system when it came out. Keep in mind that when it was released, you had systems like the Super Nintendo, Genesis, TurboGrafx-16. This is like one of the very first CD-based 32-bit systems, standalone, which is really impressive back in the day. But it retailed for $699, that's US dollars. And if you guys thought the PS3 was expensive when it came out a couple years back, imagine this thing. It's almost $7 back in 1993 with inflation. Gosh, that's like 16, 17 years ago. It's unbelievable. I don't know how much that would be in today's dollars, but crazy. It's a really well-built system. This is actually my favorite version of it. There's 3 different companies that made the 3DO. There's Panasonic. There's a company called Goldstar, which I'm going to show you a model of that in a minute. And there's also a company, Sanyo, in Japan that made a model only in Japan, never released in the States. The 3 I'm going to show you in this video are the ones that came out in the US or North America. This is the Panasonic version. Now this is, like I said, my favorite version. I'll tell you why. It's because I probably grew up with it, I think is why. But you got your power button right here. And then you got your open, close. So let's power it on. And you get nice, I don't know if you guys can see that, but a nice red light lights up, and when it's playing, it's green. So it's a CD-based system and a lot of great games. This is one particular game I really enjoy playing for. It's Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This is a great port to the system. Now what happened was, why it was ported to different systems. Now 3DO was a company that created the technology. 3DO, a little bit background on the 3DO company itself, founded by Trip Hawkins back in, which is the same guy, entrepreneur, who found Electronic Arts, EA, which we know as EA today. Basically what it is they got royalties for all the games and all the systems sold, and it was a much cheaper way for companies who were looking to get in the gaming market to make systems. So they sold out the rights. Now, it was initially, they didn't market it as a game system, they marketed it as a multiplayer system, so that's why they got away with the enormous price, or so they thought. Now, it does play CDs and stuff like that. You only got one controller port here. I'm going to talk about that in a minute and why there's only one port here. You can play multiplayer on the system. And if you turn it around on the back, you get your standard, you got your, you've got your AV out, you got your RF right here, you got your S out, and you got an expansion thing right here, which, to my knowledge, I'm not sure if they had an expansion thing to this. I don't know, maybe you guys know a little bit more than I do on this, but to my knowledge and from what I looked up and did some research on the system, I didn't see anything about an expansion model yet. They were going to release a follow-up system called the M2, Panasonic M2, which is supposed to be kind of the follow-up to the system, and never was released. Actually, it was so close. There might even be a few out there, but they didn't end up releasing it. The power is actually hardwired into there. And let's check out 1994. Goldstar came out with a model as well, and it's essentially the same thing, same layout. You get your controller port here. You got your open, close. It's just different buttons and everything. I don't like the looks of this nearly as much as the Panasonic version. On the back, you get your same layout. You got your you can switch between channels, expansion, S video, AV out, RF. And this is the Goldstar version. We got one more model. This is referred to, this is Panasonic's second model. This is the FZ-10. Now, the reason they released this came out a couple years later, I think in 95, 96, and it was kind of a cheaper version. It was less expensive. The controllers are different. I'll show you that here in a minute. And as obviously it's a top loader, and they had, what's in here? This is a 3DO buffet, so it's kind of a sampler disc. And so it's top loader. It was kind of essentially supposed to be like a cost-effective unit. You got, let's see, your controller port right here. Your expansion thing is here right now instead of in the back. and you've got your power switch right here on the back, or on the side, and on the back you get your same thing. Now the power adapter you could actually take off. It was almost like a PlayStation 1 adapter, and then you got your AV kind of standard sit on the back here. But essentially, all these systems played the same games, worked fine. The thing is, you can use the same controllers for all of them, but there's some accessories that you couldn't switch between the Goldstar and the Panasonic, which was kind of lame. Right, so and let's take a closer look at half. I'll show you each for each system. This is the FZ-1 controller, the first one I showed you. It's pretty big. It kind of reminds me of a Genesis controller. You got your ABC buttons. This is essentially the pause and select button, but as you can see, it's play and stop. So there are certain discs you can play kind of movies and CDs and stuff like that on. You got your bumpers here. What's interesting, you got your headphone jack here, so you can actually plug in headphones and listen to it play through the controller, which is kind of unique, not the system like other gaming systems back in the day. Also, as I showed you earlier, there's only one controller port on the system, and what they did was you actually plug in another controller here, and you can do that up to 8, which I never understood, because I would always play like games like Crash and Burn with a friend or buddy, and you get frustrated and you didn't plug my controller. It was bullshit. But it was kind of unique. So you can do like 8 controllers. You can plug up to 8. This is the FZ-10 model. As you can see on a size comparison, it's significantly smaller. Essentially same layout. It's missing the headphone jack. Okay, so you can listen to it through your headphones. And this is the Goldstar model. Now, this particular controller, this thing, directional pad moves. I'm not sure if it's supposed to do that or not. It works fine. But as you can see, it's bulkier. It's even bigger than the Panasonic version. But essentially, it's the same thing. You got the headphone jack here. You even got another thing also on the headphone jack. You got a volume thing right here, kind of interesting. And the Panasonic has that too. You got your bumpers, and again, you got your controller expansion. You can add another controller here. Now, if you guys are wondering why this system failed, well, obviously the price is really expensive, and it came out, during Super Nintendo and Genesis when it came out, but also keep in mind, Sony hit the market and just blew everyone out of the water, and this was competing with the Saturn. It didn't do very well. So by 1996, early 1997, the system pretty much was defunct, and they canceled the M2, the second model they were supposed to come out with it, the follow-up. Basically what 3DO ended up doing, in case you guys are wondering, they released, up until like 2001, they released games for other systems. Army Men is probably their most popular game that they came out with for it. So anyway, let's take a closer look. Here's what the cases of the games look like, guys. So there's kind of 2 different variations. There's the CD version right here, kind of a CD case. This is Crash and Burn, which is a packing game for the 3DO. And then you got the cardboard, kind of older school. This is Road Rash, which is a great game. I was going to plan on doing a gameplay or a video onto this video, but I'm running out of room and I don't have enough time to really give this game justice. So what I'll do is my next video, I will show you gameplay of Road Rash. Not really a review of it so much, but just a gameplay and walkthrough so you can kind of check it out. Because probably one of the better soundtracks for any retro game I've played, to be honest with you. Anyway, there are a lot of great games for this system. Some to name a few are, these 2 are great. There's Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which I showed you earlier. Highly recommend that. There's also Gex is really good, Alone in the Dark. Both of those are really good. And then you've got Super Wing Commander, which is, I think, an exclusive to the 3DO, which is basically Wing Commander with dialogue, updated graphics. And then you've got Wing Commander 3, which is an awesome PC port to the system as well. Just a handful of great games. I recommend picking up a 3DO. You can get them fairly cheap now on eBay and other auction sites. Games are a little harder to find at used gaming stores, but they're pretty readily available online. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.